Welcome back to some professional StarCraft to a best of 5 between two former world champions. Let me introduce the player everyone loves to hate, destroying your favorite player, no matter what the series of the tournament. It is Rogue, the Executioner. He doesn't really care about having a fancy style or a fun strategy. He cares about winning. You gotta respect that. But he's actually got a slight losing record, 24 and 28 in matches. Right around 100 in actual games played. Against this 2016 World Champion fighting for Shopify Rebellion, we have the South Korean Terran. It's Byun. And I'd like to welcome you back to this Winter Chillcast. Winter Wondercast? I saw that comment. It was a good... I like that one. It's a little much. But I blew air through my nose. I was like, it's a good one. So Winter Wondercast. We'll try it on for size. A little more chill commentary. A little less casting. Gotta stop putting casting in the name. Anyways, like and subscribe if you want to see these two fight it out. Actually, you're already here. If you want to see these two fight it out, and many like them in great matches. The dance. Byun using the unit he nerfed into, well, not really Oblivion. It's still very good. It just isn't as overpowering. Oh my god, don't do it. He gets it. Oh, what a... Okay, well, Byun's Byun. He gets up the ramp against 6 lanes. Rogue made 6 lanes. Usually you make 4. But against Byun, you make 6. And he still gets the grenade. He bounces the queen. He snipes the tumor. And I think that sets the tone. Byun, for those who don't know, back in when Legacy of the Void came out, the Reaper grenade had twice as much damage. It had 10 damage. And it had a 7-second cooldown. It now has half as much damage and twice as long of a cooldown. 5 and 14. Because of Byun. Explicitly, he was the only player using Reapers. His World Championship was somewhat built off the back of that unit and his ridiculous strength microing them. And they still have all the same tools, they're just not as overpowering. As you can see there, Byun gets in. He snipes a tumor. He gets a drone. And he's going Banshees again. This is on Waterfall, which won the Team Liquid map contest. It looks beautiful. Though there's some weird things that happen with creep on the river. You don't want to have too much creep down by the river. Now that was a little confusing. He loses a Hellion and a Reaper, gets a few lanes. No more creep tumor sniped. But yeah, the Banshees will be spotted. Byun does this, and you know what? Maybe at some point it'll be proven right. Where he kind of... This is almost exactly a Wings of Liberty strategy. Like, Terran players have been making Hellions and a couple Cloaked Banshees since 2010. Of course, after some early barracks, aggression has been the order of the day, so... The Banshee has been spotted. Thing is, in the hands of Byun, the Banshee is still a very useful tool. The Liberator is a more middle ground choice, but Liberator can't snipe creep tumors. It isn't so great at denying bases. Overall, the Banshee is a big commitment, but it has the added benefit of helping defensively as well. So, the Banshee, I think, twofold in that. And oh my, I didn't expect to see this from Byun. It's very rare. I'm interested to see if there's going to be some sort of twist to it. But it's just mech. He's building 2 armory, 2 Is this Hell Clones? Hell Clones! The only reason for 2 armory is because when you go Hell Clones, Cyclone Hellion, you're reliant more on honestly, a more bio-like army. Rogue, you saw the cloak. You saw the cloak, Rogue. He saw it, but he did not respect it. The Banshees just come in. The Hellions run by. They start roasting, and this is exactly how you want to kick things off. The queen stuffs him at the ramp. She's thick enough to block the Hellions. But 18 drones have died, and he's not done. Oh my god, the queen's getting stuck. This is a total and utter disaster. This is unacceptable levels of damage. Oh my god, who cares what he's doing now back at home? Like, this is an absolute disaster. That was an amateur mistake out of Rogue. I don't know if he thought Byun was faking, but pros don't fake, as the old adage goes. Blue flame on the way, but I mean, like, you can do whatever you want now. You could go mass Hellbat, even. I mean, it might end up there. We've been seeing a slight surge in mech. Of course, a more late game option. And also, this isn't just Hell Clones. This is just Hellions. This is Blue Flame Hellions. He's making more reactors. He's almost trolling right now. Almost. I don't like. He's literally mono-battling Hellions. His army is Hellions, and the Marine left over. Like, what is your army? Hellions. Okay, and no, more Hellions. Wow, this is straight out of Wings. And why stop? Okay, Thor's on the way. Interesting. I wonder if he wanted to go Hell Clones, but then he saw there's no roaches, so I need something to deal with the queens here. Byun has full control. He's got it. He's in the driver's seat, and he's stepping on the Vespine gas pedal right now and pumping out those Thors. Yeah, Rogue, honestly, I was surprised to see that Rogue has a losing record against Byun overall, though you're just gonna run by the queen, Brenda. Oh, she's been bulking. The Hellbat's just gonna burn right through. There should be a transfuse. Yes. Oh, Byun just knocking on the door. Get me too excited here. It's a chill cast, but he's heating it up so much, I can't help it. He's warmed up this game and my voice. Byun. Putting the fun in fundamentals. You gotta... Rogue spotted... Now he's scouted in again since then, but he spotted the cloak upgrading on the starport. Now, a lot of Terrans will fake it. They'll just start the cloak. Oh my god, the creep looks so weird over the bridges. Creep and water don't mix. Everyone learned that in geometry class. Roaches and Ravagers now. Tanks being produced to deal with the masses of larger, more substantial units. Whatever happened to the Thors? Yeah, he does it. Nobody likes tanks. Okay, tanks are dumb. It's boring and slow. They can't even fly anymore. The tank's definitely a reaction. Oh, the Thors picked up the one token Marine left over from earlier. The hammer's ready to drop. Now, Roach Ravager has no real options. I love the addition of more Banshees in here, too. Oh. Does he have smart servos? No. That was a normal transition time. Hellions trying to come in again. Alright. Yeah, the Thor's a threat. They're essentially pinning the Roach Ravager at home as soon as they leave. Thors come in, blast away. Good against small numbers of units, especially. These scouting tanks are a little much. Byun, not a big fan. Tanks, slow and boring. Rallied across the map. 11 more Ravagers for Rogue, who's bounced back economically. He's got 77 drones against 77 SCVs of Byun. Of course, Byun has maintained an income lead up until essentially this moment with the, well, he had a worker advantage, and then, of course, mules compounding that. I am enjoying... You know what? I wasn't sure. I'm like, do we want to watch another Byun series? For those who don't know, Byun's playing in essentially... It's not that I'm, like, having a bias towards Byun games. Though, maybe I should, right? Byun plays in essentially every single tournament. He plays in all 3 ESL Cups, NA, EU, and Korea. He plays in every possible show match. He plays in some of the smaller, like Dave Testa's open tournaments. This is the Alpha X Pro Series, which he plays in like every show match. He's like, sign me up. 24 hours a day. Professional StarCraft. In fact, that reminds me, I haven't seen Cure in a while. Maybe Cure and Byun are the same person, it's just he changes his ID to Cure if he's feeling more macro that day. Has anyone ever seen Byun and Cure in the same? Anyways, Ravagers with a huge concave. The fight, honestly, I didn't think it would escalate to this point. Byun making some progress, but getting bitten off. The hammer's dropping on the right side. Ravager's not quite able to take out the Thors. A Banshee, another Banshee just racking up 10 kills. 17 drones died in this exchange. Rogue bounces up to 72 after dropping down to around 60. 3 more factory. Is this an Octofact? The Octofactory build? Oh my. Man, are there enough queens to deal with the Banshees? There's only 2 queens. Ravagers shooting their own Spore Crawler to deal with this. It's not enough. The Banshees just running all over everything. Real flying. The tanks are still in position. A pretty nasty corridor here. The Valley of Death. The Ravager's trying to come down the ramp. Hitting Rogue so hard he mistypes the GG to start. And Byun with a dominant. He was getting Hyper Shees at the end. I love it. Oh, what a fun strat. Byun off to a strong and beautiful start. Completely unbiased, but that is the way I love to see mech played. Just in your face, in your grill, taking every opportunity to do damage. And yes, some risks as well, but that's just... I mean, that's built into Byun, and that's built into Agromech. But Inside and Out is our next map. I hope you guys are enjoying. Thank you, Team Alpha X. Like, subscribe, and let's jump in to Game 2. What's your favorite one of these new maps? Jimmy said it's important to talk to people between the games like they're actually there, so... Make him feel engaged, if you would. Byun 1-0. I'd love to see some more, but the thing is, it's almost counterintuitive, but mech on small maps, if you get map control early, it's very difficult for a Zerg to push back against it. Because the siege tanks don't have to go far in order to get up to your base. Of course, the reverse is true. If you attempt something like that Hellion run by and just get slapped down, well, you've lost so much control over the map that the Zerg player can continually pound on not just your 4th, but your 3rd base. And makes it very difficult to ever really get a decent unit composition together, at least without sitting back and turtling and hoping they don't get the rest of the map. Inside and Out is not a particularly huge map either. In fact, so fun fact, the original version of the map may or may not have had a blizzard sign on this building. Yeah, fun fact. Moving on. For reasons we have no idea, will remain unknowable. But I'm excited for the maps to come to the pool. I think they look beautiful, though are not particularly original at this point. Unfortunately, that's StarCraft 2 showing its age. A lot of people, well, pro players have figured it out. Like, we know how to play, like, what a map needs. Like, you need a certain amount of space beyond the minerals. So that way Liberators are not untouchable. You need a certain, like a Reaper Cliff, a Pervert Pillar. You need a 3rd or 4th in case of a block. The ramp is approximately yay wide. Like, these are all things that are established. And I do hope, with the RTSs of the future, and I'd love to see some more games in SC2. It would just take, like, a whole nother balance, to be honest. That... I think creativity, one of the things I really like about Age of Empires 2 is kind of the randomness or the diversity via map design. So, the way it works in AoE 2 is the map generates based on like a set of parameters. I don't know if it's procedural either way. You'll always have your resources within X distance, but sometimes maybe your gold is towards the front of the base. It's more vulnerable. But in trade, you got your trees at the back, where they're better protected. Now, because the units in Age of Empires 2, the difference between the Mongols and the Britons is less than the difference between Bio and Mech, let alone Bio and Zerg. That is what allows that to happen. I do say that is one of my favorite things about Age of Empires 2, and how that plays out. With that said, I do like how beautiful the maps in SC2 are, and it's a little bit more like chess, where the openers are figured out, the basics are hammered out, and it comes down to mind games, mechanics, and strategy. Maybe a little bit more of a blitz chess situation, where speed factors in more than just knowing what the correct counter is. Because if I wanted to know the correct counter to any particular build, I'd just go to Twitch chat, or the YouTube comments even. So, but unfortunately, knowing is far less than half the battle in StarCraft 2, actually. The other 3/4 to 90% is playing at more than 100 APM for these players. Mailing nest on the way. Yep, we did it. We filled the time. Honestly, I'm becoming a little more comfortable. This is a YouTube cast. A little easier for me to just focus on making sure I don't strain my voice too much. And I'm chilling. Alright, I'm used to casting live, but sometimes you get old and you want to do things right instead of things fast. I'm sure many of you can empathize. So far, 3 Zerglings and an Overlord. Enthralling gameplay. 5 Rex, 3 command centers against 3 bases of Rogue, who seems to have been a little conservative on the drone count so far, but that's quickly changing. He made sure he had enough Zerglings to deal with any potential Hellions. I mean, after last game. And then, now I think he's expecting a medevac-based move-out, but Byun has almost no units. This has been about as greedy as you can get while still having the 1-1-1. Viking flies over the lava. Rogue seems a little confused as to what Byun is doing. He's only had 60 rounds. He doesn't have any upgrades on the way. He's convinced it's some big 2-base push, but then the 3rd command center lands. The amount of creep tumors, 17 creep tumors at a time. He starts upgrades, he starts more drones, he starts a 4th. The 4th was already on the way, but yeah, I think Rogue, Byun played his cards close to his chest here. And Rogue, expecting a push, instead kind of held up his own economy. And that may end up being an issue as time goes on. Because now Byun has a comfortable 3 bases. He's got all 5 racks up and running. About as many as you can support off 3 bases until you get 70, 75 SCVs. Once Rogue's 4th is up, and he has that Hydra, then he has better options, but well, the first 2 medevacs moving out. Awkward pathing here. Didn't take down the rock, so the medevacs fly over, but the Marines have to walk around. Players not quite as experienced with the maps yet. Little pathing things like that are definitely something you see less of, or mistakes like that you see less of as time goes on. Army transferring over to the left, expecting the classic multi-pronged Byun play. A second factory on the way. Gonna reinforce with additional tanks, expecting Hydras, and we'll find them soon. Oh, the Queens. Wow. Already the knitting crew across the map. Brenda! Why are we so far across? It's just a small map, okay? It's approximately 114 queens from end to end. How did you have that number on hand? Well, Marine drop, getting a few more legs. Drawing the army to the left. Hydra's on the way. Infestation pit, 3 more hatches. As soon as he realized Byun was getting a little greedy, Rogue decided to dip his hand into the mineral cookie jar. Medevac headed towards the main, trying to draw things into position. Almost loses it. Already bruised. Double drop to the left flank. Actually, let's go to the Byun action cam for a bit here. Sees the Marines, loses the Medevac. Heading in. Towards the center, targeting the base, tries to get it, cancels anyways. Few Marines stimmed in the center. Wait, where are the rest of the Medevacs? That's way too many Marines. Byun. Now, a bit of a miscalculation there. I don't know if he expected more Medevacs to be coming along with, but loses 10-15 Marines kind of on their own. Drives back the creep a little bit. Overall, Rogue has grasped his entire half of the map. It looked like Byun might just have a nice, effective economy and be able to work off of that, but instead, Rogue, as soon as he saw the third landing, just took everything. And now it's up to Byun to take it back. 2-2 on the way. Rogue's already maxed. It's 9.5 minutes. 9.5 minutes. He's got 90 drones, 5 bases. He's got a hive. He's got a lurker den on the way. One thing he's lacking are those 2-2 upgrades. Byun will have an advantage there. Oh, okay. He's no longer lacking. Adrenal glands. We got 2-2. Hydraless speed. Lurker den completing. Overlord. Spraying all over the ground. Driven out, the Hellbats added into the army. Leggings and Banes, that's just too many Marines. They will gun down the Leggings and Banes before the Banes can close the distance. Rogue knows that. Backs off. $28 Banelings. How many Banelings now total? Going over 50. That's really the only way to add power. That's the only way to add alpha damage to your army after you're maxed out. That damage that essentially Zergs try to win the first part of the fight so hard, they can roll the rest. Because as time goes on, the Terran army becomes better and better, and the Zerg army starts to struggle. Coming through between a rock and a hard place, but that's so many goddamn Banelings. And it doesn't matter because the concave of tanks is ridiculously good. Wow, he really just tried to roll through 5 Banelings across. How many? He lost 50, and those are the ones he lost without attacking. Wow. Byun cleans it up. Rogue is already expanding to even the top corner. Byun's mini-map is quite intimidating. Rogue, on the other hand, is this side of map hex. He has vision of every single thing but the 4 bases beyond his lockdown. 3 more command centers in the main. Byun, prepare, like, he doesn't even have 3 more bases to take. So, I imagine, yeah, orbitals. Not gonna run out of scans, at least very unlikely. The second armory on the way. Turrets. Ghosts in production. It does feel like one of those games. Liberators. Byun adapting to the late game we are currently in. He's doing it very quickly. 3-3 on the way. Ghost Cloak. Really? I mean, if you have the money, I guess. But at some point, he's going up to like 12 command centers, and he has 6 bases on his side of the map. There's just not that many bases to mine from. Blinding Cloud, EMP lands, Banelings rolling through. The concave is insane from Byun. Once again, the Banelings roll into every... Wow, what is that, 12 Overseers? A few sniped off. Not going to run the risk of not having detection. 1 base taken out, the 3 spines looking very sad on the wrong side of history. Rogue is now taking... This is, like... A pretty disgusting amount of map control. What? 3-3 on the way. Everywhere. Byun literally can't move out. Creep is at his doorstep. He has been taking great fights. He's lost half as many minerals. Like a third less gas. Okay, alright with the command centers, Byun. I think like 10 orbitals is about, like, you always have a scan. 42 more banelings. Rogue gonna rogue. He doesn't like the ultra turtly late game. He will bash down the door. Oh my god. Can we get 100 banelings, Rogue? For all time's sake. There's nothing. There's like a small set of rocks. It's literally a barricade. Rogue doesn't care. He's rolling through. Blinding Cloud's a little late. Better late than never. Liberator's doing well. A lot of SCVs vulnerable. The baneling's just looking for whatever targets they can find. Honestly, I think Byun is going to be happy to lose those SCVs. This command center spots a base. A bit disgusting on the map control. Byun, he's still being insanely cost effective. How many banelings? Only 11. We're going to need to pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers, Rogue. The tank count is slowly growing, as is the ghost count. Bio army just kind of filling in the blanks. Is that a planetary? Alright. 41 more banelings. Marauder drop. Going for the hatch. Slips up and gets out. +3 just now finishing. Changelings. So, all that vision he doesn't have with creep, he's getting with changelings. He has changelings essentially over the entire army. He knows every step Byun is taking. Every step he takes, he's watching. Byun, he's got 4 the main's mining out. So far, Rogue has mined 10,000 more minerals, but he's needed almost all of them. Another few Zerglings. A Viper with Blinding Cloud, I think, allowed them in. Is that enough mains? Oh my god, the SCV Micro! What a save!
What a save!
No, okay, 2 saves, I guess. Yeah, no, well, that didn't pan out. Marauder drop shut down, but on the left flank, Rogue did mine some of it. It's a matter of principle. How does Byun break out? It is... It's a bit disgusting. Thing is, though, Rogue is literally playing the quantity over quality game. He hasn't yet found an army that's cost-effective against this. But cost-effective doesn't matter when you have about 4 more bases. Actually, that is the case. He literally has more bases. He has 4 more bases than Byun. Which is the amount of bases in total that Byun has. So he can be twice as ineffective, if my math doesn't fail me, and it may very well do so. He can lose twice as much and still be even. And he's working on it. That's assuming Byun isn't able to grab either of these corners. I don't know if that is going to continue to be the case. Planetary siege tank looking more and more like a campaign mission. I don't know if killing drones is really a high priority right now. The ghost count, not that high behind this. Splits, good enough. Byun, holding. Some ghosts dying, looks like many of the medevacs did. The tanks are holding. The Overseer is obscuring most of the fight. 90 more lings on the way. More ghosts, more tanks dead. Hundreds more Zerglings. Byun trying to, like... You have, like, unlimited scan. He's got 8 orbitals. Some of them are maxed on energy. You might as well send out a Marine or two. There's a lot going on here. The tanks are sieging the hatch that was rebuilt, if you remember. SCV's trying to transfer. Still spine crawlers there. Another wave. Just endless Zerg. Oh my god. Byun down to 100 supply. Rogue is just economically battering him right now. Byun's out of minerals. I think those 4 extra bases, that 14,000 of extra minerals mined. Well, here it is. Vipers yanking Liberators. The tank count is still quite high, but they're irreplaceable. Rogue. Another few dozen Zerglings. Hydras. He's lost 12,000 more, and he does not care. The tank line. About as literal as you can get on this one. He needs these minerals. But has he spent too many minerals in getting them? All the patches are mining out. He's down to like 10 mineral patches. The income, well, a slight mule peak above water there before Rogue locked it. Oh my god! But he can't even land the command center yet. Ah! Well, that was a beautiful moment. Unfortunately, the moment ends in absolute disaster for Byun. As the Zergs completely overrun Rogue with an asphyxiating amount of map control. I don't really know where it went wrong, but I know it definitely didn't go right. Byun drops game 2, we're all tied up. Go into Data C. Fun game, but... Ooh. Well, both players have had kind of an oppressive match so far. Let's go to game 3. Data C, our obligatory underwater map. Always gotta have one to show off those beautiful physics. Where are those SCVs going, Byun? Interesting. Where's the second OV from Rogue headed? Not very far out. Honestly, I'm a believer in the just holding the Overlord at the front like a guard at the door. Because there's so many different locations you can hide those barracks, and if you miss them by like 2 pixels, your Overlord might not be in position to actually see the SCVs come in for something like a bunker. Whereas if you hold the Overlord out here, at least you know it's coming. You might not be able to stop it before it starts, but I'd say better than half the time when players scout the racks, send drones out to try to block it, it ends up finishing and they end up being behind anyways. I think stopping it before it takes root is your best option. And also, this is not like a 3 or 4 racks, it's just a 2 racks. I say that because in Legacy of the Void, 2 racks is a macro play, essentially. While this could end up being quite all in, this does not preclude the option of going to factory back at home, of expanding. This is to just really throw your opponent off, get some damage done. The SCVs are spotted. The drones are pulled. A dramatic yet necessary move. Yeah, wow. Okay. All right. He is not screwing around. The Predator drones off the line. Chasing Byun back. Trying to get a hold of this. A nice choke point here. Gonna use some a little bit of mineral walking. He's pushed back all the way to the wreck. Still at SCV, a nasty positioning. And this is why chasing this down is always a dicey endeavor. He's not even building any Zerglings. Oh, he got some Zerglings out already. Okay. The bunker actually finished. Is he gonna repair like he's gonna get into the bunker here? Every second counts for Byun. Oh, come on. The drone's coming off the line. That one SCV still repairing. It bought the time. The Marines, the drone's surrounding. But he's losing... he's only lost... Well, 4 is pretty substantial. The salvage, minus the 25 mineral restocking fee. Overall, where does that leave us? You might be like, well, he shot it down, right? That means Rogue is ahead. No. I would say Byun gets the slight better of that exchange. Between the sheer amount of mining time lost, the efficiency of the Marines, the drones lost, 4 drones, the fact that Lings were also killed, like, if Lings aren't killed, for example, if you kill drones, lose the Marines, and the Lings are out, well then, you have to kind of stay turtled up behind your wall at home. You are not able to expand to your naturals so easily. But in this case, the Marines traded for Lings and drones, and he's still building them, by the way. Like, there's enough to deal with Queens, potentially. And that means more Lings have to be built using that valuable larva. Marines get grabbed here. Larva is a resource. Larva is a resource that a lot of players don't really consider in the early game, and especially before Queen injects are out. Larva is something that is very limited. And while a bunch more Lings come out and they strike down the Marines, the larva count... Now, those Lings... Now, this is... Write this down. Not drones. That's how it works. So, that means Byun's gonna have Hellions against Zerglings without speed. Yes, speed is on the way. 3rd hatchery builds for Rogue, but he's only at 27 drones. He's actually a little supply block now. It's not gonna get easier as a Viking comes out first. I'd say that's some confidence out of Byun. I don't need a Banshee. I don't need a Liberator. He gets one now, but he doesn't need it early for either to be aggressive or defend. Building the Viking is a much more long-winded macro play. Speaking of definitely not long-winded macro plays, a Roach Warren, another gas from Rogue. He built a bunch more Zerglings. Rogue feels like he's too far behind economically. He's just going for it. Uh-oh. The Zerglings are not... Oh my god, he just drives in. And the Zerglings will come back, but the Hellions are in. They're kill drones. Oh no. And they'll see the Roach Warren. A few Zerglings at the natural. Not enough to do critical damage. If there were 20 Zerglings here, maybe, yeah, but... The Roach Warren was spotted while he was killing drones. It almost cannot be overstated how much of a disaster this is for Rogue. The Zerglings, SCVs boxing out. The SCVs will, some of them will die, but that's a sacrifice Byun is willing to make. Rogue wanted to delay the bunker at all. The roaches are still a long way off. Oh no. He's rebuilding drones while they're dying to a Liberator. Oh no. He's lost 12 drones so far. Oh, this is one of those games as Zerg. You're like, I don't want to leave, but I'm not going to win. It's one of those, I need to lose all my units so I can justify myself leaving the game, because I do not want to play this one out anymore. But unfortunately, Byun denies him even that. He denies him the ability to say, you know what, alright, I'm tapping out. But instead he just has to tuck his Ravager's corrosive bile between his legs and leave. Because there is no path to victory against someone of Byun's caliber there. Rogue knows better than anyone. Match point to Byun. The 2 racks not killing him, but doing enough mental and economic. Oh my god, it's after watching. Oh god, it's so bright. Stargazers. I'm not sure what graphic setting, Jimmy, we have, but I've noticed this. I deleted some file at some point. I don't know. For some reason, my minerals and gas are always very bright. Like, even in the fog of war. Which, honestly, I don't mind. I think it looks pretty cool. But it started happening somewhat recently. New feature, okay? They look like they look when they're revealed. So, in case you didn't know, there are gold minerals. Wow, they're now very beautiful. You know what? The more I look at it, I kind of like it. Anyway, Stargazers. Pocket base. But these are 10 mineral walls. That means, since a worker mines 5 minerals at a time, that means 4 trips. Or a couple mules, but usually by the time you want to take that is well, you don't want to be wasting mules on mining mineral walls. There's also 40 mineral walls on the ramp. So, a mule takes 30 minerals at a time. And, well, in this case, this is essentially like I want to be able to get down my own ramp. Now, of course, this can lead to siege tank pushes and other fun things like that. Minerals, the only thing that cannot be destroyed. Not by nuclear missiles, not by marines, not by zerglings. No. Instead, the only thing that can slowly dismantle the minerals are workers. The lowly blue mineral worker. So, Byun demonstrates his intent to take this base. He's also got a bear. Is this going to be a 2-1-1? It is technically a vertically close distance map. As you do, he could just land on the pocket base and stim the Marines in. I would say that Terran definitely has the most opportunities to take advantage of a new map pool and kind of exploit both players not knowing the biggest risk locations when it comes to things like drops or tank pushes, and also how kind of generic their defense is. Like, with Terran, you just wall it off with depots, put a few tanks behind. And that pretty much covers you against anything. Whereas when fighting against Terran, especially as Zerg, do I need spores? Do I need queens in a certain position? Where do my overlords go? Where do I need to spread creep to? Can that tank hit from there? Wait, can I hit that Liberator? Like, questions asked by Zerg players on every new map pool. Oh, that's like, I was spending too much time looking at the moon wells over here, whatever they are. It's beautiful, I gotta say. That watchtower also an interesting implication because it can spot. It's essentially, it covers the entire airspace here as well. The ground distance between the bases is relatively long. You gotta come down the ramp. I believe the closest distance actually goes above this platform and then down across. So Byun, by going for the 2-1-1, I think a strong choice to. So there are a few different phrasings I could try out here. You tell me which one you like. There's a utilize the map. There's exploit the map. There's abuse the map. There is take advantage of the map. You know what? All of these have weird implications. As they should, depending on which side you're rooting for here. These Marine... This is a weird amount of Marines to just kind of have out there. This is super risky. If he just loses these Marines, the entire drop... Oh, he just pokes out. Very Wings of Liberty, like, I'm gonna force the Zerg to make units. And Rogue indeed does. Like, he didn't have enough links for this. This was the slight gamble Byun was making was now you got to build units. And those units aren't going to be particularly great at chasing down medevacs anyways. Yeah, medevac drop. Guns down the Overlord on the pervert pillar. Designed for scouting for medevac drops. The rest of the Marines out in the field will get picked up. Besides the few that, well, there's some bureaucratic oversight. Marines stimming to the main, using that low ground location. Queen's targeted. Marines picked up, oh, and the medevac. Oh, it's so close. He can just drop right back down over there. And he's well protected. There's no easy way around. Yeah, I think the Spire is not only a strong option, but necessary. As good luck dealing with this without it. The Spire is... Ooh. Hydras are not going to cut it. He needs to either mine out that area or use the mutas. Oh, there's a stim. Widowmine, an interesting choice. The Widowmine doesn't do much, but beyond target fire. Another one. Marines. Game over. Match over. It's all over. Beyond 3-1. Well, and then it just kind of ends. In typical Byun fashion, Marines and medevacs, stims in, wins the series. Not exactly how I expected it to end. I'd love to see a longer match on that map. I think it could be a lot of fun, but I think Rogue just not really happy with how things started or ended. It appears Byun has Rogue's number, as Rogue's struggling against Byun's more, but the only game Rogue ended up taking was that ridiculous map control turtle game. So when Byun gets in your face, well, everyone has a plan until they get proxy raxed outside their natural, as the saying goes. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you, Team Alpha X, for putting these on as well. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Check out these videos. What about this one? How about that one? How exciting would that be? I don't know if it works on mobile. You guys have phones, though. You can... Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Good luck, have fun, stay chill.